Hello everybody, Frank here, and I'm glad you're here. And I hope you stay here until the end of the video, because in this video we're going to talk about engagement and getting learners to stay through to the end of an online course by giving them the opportunity to interact with the material in a more meaningful and engaged way. Here on YouTube, when I make a video, they're short videos, and I hope that you'll gain something from them, but I also hope that whatever I've shown you is something that you then go and try for yourselves. The only way to really interact with a YouTube video is to hit the like button or comment down below, which I really appreciate, but it's even more important for me that you go out and you try some of the things that I've shown you so that you can get benefit from them. And I can see through the retention graph that throughout the video, I lose viewers over time because they're just not maybe engaged, or it's not really something that they're interested in. In a classroom environment, if I see students getting disengaged, I can tell a joke or I can find some way to bring them into the conversation. So the challenge that we have with an online course is, how do I get students to interact with the material in a way that's meaningful, that keeps them engaged, and makes that online course more interesting? Well, in this video, we're going to look at Ispring software. I've done a couple of videos where I show how to create scenarios in Ispring. I talk about the Ispring Suite. And in this video, we're going to specifically talk about something called interactions, where the student has the ability to click and to navigate through different interactions to create a more engaged experience for them. So it's not just a passive consumption of information, but it's also an interactive, kinesthetic way of the student actually connecting to the information in a more meaningful way. Let's take a look at Ispring and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Ispring has a number of very interesting interactions that I can create. There are things like carousels, things like graphic images that the student can click on to get both text and image information, hotspots where I can go through and have the students select different elements from an image and learn more about things. All of these interactions are engaging and interesting. Now, when I want to create a new course, first of all, I want a course that's visually appealing. Now, Ispring provides a number of interesting templates, so different types of PowerPoint layouts with really nice imagery, really nice design. So if I go in and create a PowerPoint, just a standard PowerPoint presentation using Ispring, I'm going to get a very good looking PowerPoint presentation that I can then generate into an online course. I want to add to that. In a previous video, and I'll link to it, I showed you how I could create a role play. And in the role play, the student could interact with a fictitious character. That's one way of creating interaction. Or I can create an interaction. To create an interaction, I'll go in and I can choose the point in the course that I want it to appear. When I say I want to create one here, I'll create a new slide. I'll have a blank slide. And then what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll say, let's create a new interaction. This will give me the menu of creating all sorts of different interactions. I can create different types of transitions, different types of carousels, different types of hotspots, all sorts of different transitions or interactions. And in my case, I'm going to do a hotspot. So let's do a hotspot interaction. When I do a hotspot, there are different types I can do. Effectively, what a hotspot is it's an image that encourages the learner to click on the image. So it gives me a dummy image. I'll change this. So for my outdoor hiking club, I'm going to choose an image that I found that maybe I've downloaded from stock footage, or I've downloaded it from a free website where I can get free images, and it'll change this image. That image is going to be more appropriate to my hiking course. Then I'll go in and you'll notice that I have these little labels that I can move around. So I can put these labels on top of different objects. I can then give that, for example, an introduction. So I give the entire image an introduction. So some gear for the hike here. And then I can say, okay, this label here, label number 1, is going to be something like, I'm going to put this one on the hiking boots. So I'll go here and I'll call it footwear. And then I'll put some information about footwear in there. And I can go in, I can even change the marker style. So there's different, we can change, instead of a little X, I can change heading information. I can make this a very rich and interesting result. So when they click on it, they can have translated text, all sorts of things. Let's do label 2. So I'll maybe drag that over to the hiking poles, and then I'll go in and say, you know, this is information about hiking poles. And again, I can add, change markers, do all sorts of things. I can go in and I can grab the third marker and I can put that onto the binoculars. And you can create additional markers on here. It comes with a standard 3. And then I can preview it. So here I'll go in and preview my hotspots. And you can see here I get the introduction. I go next and it'll go through and it'll walk me through if I go next, or I can actually click on the object. So this is great. In the outdoor hiking club here, I'm really looking at saying, here's what you should know about these different objects. And that gives the student the ability, or the outdoor hiker the ability, to go in and learn about these different objects. And again, through translation, formatting, adding images, I can make it really exciting for them. I can even preview it on different platforms, so I can create mobile learning experiences so they can learn. This is great if I'm in a hybrid environment. I could create like a little tiny interaction course where there's a few things they can do on transit, or they could do it for micro learning. They could do it in a flipped classroom environment. And it's very easy to add that interaction in. I can then add that to the course as a whole, preview the entire course, and you'll notice I now have a course that's not just slide by slide. There are some slides in here, attractive, good-looking slides based upon the template, but I'm going to do things like come up to the role play. I can then go through the role play. The student gets to see the role play. That's exciting for them. Even linking out to resources, which is the same thing you can do with interactions as well. You can see as I progress through the course, again, the templates, here's an interaction. So I'll go here. Here's an interaction of a tent where I put some hotspots on the tent so I can learn about how to set up the tent. I can go in and here's the interaction that we just created together, an introduction to it, and then I can click on the different objects and learn about those objects. Interactions are a great way to make your online course better than just a passive slide after slide online course or just a click-through website. And Ispring not only offers the interactions, but they also offer scenarios. You can embed video. You can do all sorts of things to make that online course more engaging and more enriching for the learners. I hope you enjoyed this video. You can interact with this video, comment down below or hit the like button, and I hope you'll give Ispring a try for yourself. Just download the free trial. I'll put a link down below so that you can also create online content either for small or longer courses that engages your audience and helps your learners learn more effectively using technology.